Hey everyone, ahlan wa sahlan fikum. As you all know, I've been living in Armenia for half a year now, and it's such an amazing country with an amazing history and a really amazing language. I could go on all day about what makes Armenia and the Armenian language so mind-blowing, but what I wanted to share with you today are a few interesting Armenian words that made me do a double take when I heard them the first time. That's because they're Arabic words as well, and really common Arabic words at that. It should come as no surprise that Armenian shares a good number of words with Arabic, but what might surprise you is that they weren't necessarily borrowed from Arabic-speaking communities, or even brought back by Armenians living in countries like Syria and Lebanon. So how did they get there? You see, the entire Armenian homeland has always been at the crossroads of major foreign powers, literally since the time of Alexander the Great and the Achaemenid Empire. In more recent history, Armenia has been split in two: Western Armenia, mostly ruled by the Ottoman Empire, and Eastern Armenia, mostly ruled by Persian dynasties until the Russian Empire took over the region around 200 years ago. Today, the major foreign influence in Armenian language and culture is by far Russian, but the overwhelming amount of loans from Persian and even Turkish attests to the long, fascinating history of the region. But how does that pertain to Arabic? Although the initial Islamic armies only came to occupy Armenia for a brief period, remember that the Ottoman Empire and the Persian dynasties after that were all Islamic entities, where the Arabic language had a major influence. Still today, about 25% of Persian vocabulary is Arabic, while over 80% of Ottoman Turkish vocabulary was Arabic or Persian in origin. So Arabic words generally entered Persian and Turkish first, and from there they entered Armenian. But there's one more catch. Most of these Arabic words go way back, and some have actually been part of the Armenian language for nearly 2,000 years. But how is that possible? That's actually because many of the words you and I think of as Arabic words are actually not of Semitic origin at all, including many words borrowed from Persian. As we're about to see, these words were making the rounds of the region way before Arabic was even on the map. So let's jump right into it and see how history unfolds. Our first word is yani. Yes, yani, the all-powerful yani. This word literally means "it means" in Arabic, but it's used as a filler word in conversation, similar to "like" in English. Guess what? This is actually commonly used in Persian as well in the same way, and in Armenian too. Yani inchi hamar jamanak. This word entered Old Armenian from Parthian, a sister language of Old Persian. In Persian itself, this word evolved into zaman, which in Arabic became zaman, time. So the different forms of jamanak and zaman attest to the fact that this Iranian word actually entered Armenian and Arabic from two different sister languages at two different times. And the Armenian word is actually the older borrowing, and by a lot. While jamanak comes directly from Parthian, Arabic zaman is borrowed from Middle Persian. Zanjafi. This word entered Armenian from Turkish, but the Ottomans got it from Arabic zanjabil. However, Arabic actually got this word from Syriac zangvil, which itself is taken from Prakrit singabera, and the word goes all the way back to Sanskrit. Not only that, but the Prakrit word entered both Syriac and Greek as well, where it became zingiberis, which in Latin became gingiber, which evolved into Spanish jengibre, French gingembre, and from there, from French, we get English ginger. Badrijan, another word borrowed into Armenian from Ottoman Turkish. You may know it as bedinjan, eggplant, but both Arabic and Turkish actually got this word from Persian badinjan, which again is actually from Sanskrit vatigagama. It's worth noting that the Arabic word entered Spanish as berenjena and Catalan as well as albergina, which in French became aubergine, which is actually the word for eggplant that is commonly used in Britain as well. So, ginger and aubergine, two truly international words. Zeid. This one's easy, right? It's Zeid. And by the way, we also have zeytun in Armenian. Zeid is a very old word in Armenian, first attested in Old Armenian. While this seems like a staple Arabic word, guess what? It actually comes from Syriac, which is a variety of Aramaic. From there, the word entered Armenian and Arabic. That shouldn't come as a surprise either. After all, olive cultivation wasn't a thing in the heartland of the Arabic language, whereas it's a big part of the ancient Aramaic-speaking Eastern Mediterranean cultures. Zibil. This one took me by surprise just because I wasn't expecting it. Armenian zibil, meaning trash, comes from Ottoman Turkish zibil, which comes from Arabic zibil, actually meaning manure of all things. The word we use today in Arabic for trash is actually zbale, which in Persian is also zobale. It's a little different, but as soon as my friend said it's called zibil, I was like, that's Arabic. Keef. This one is funny just because it's really random. Believe it or not, this word doesn't mean Keef, or let me rephrase that. This word doesn't mean how, which is probably the meaning of Keef that you're familiar with. There's actually another meaning of Keef in standard Arabic, which is like enjoyment, pleasure, euphoria. In Armenian, Keef is like fun, but like crazy kind of fun. I would compare it to the English word lit, as in it's lit. In Armenian, it's Keef. Fun fact, by the way, in Arabic, Keef, pronounced Keef, is also the name of a type of ground cannabis in North Africa, hence the English word Keef, which is a slang term for this type of cannabis. Arar. This word, of course, comes from ara, which literally means sweat in Arabic, but it's also the name of an anise-flavored liquor produced in Palestine and Lebanon and so on. It's similar to Italian sambuca or Greek ouzo. In Armenia, though, this word actually means vodka, which is interesting because vodka is obviously a Russian word, yet an Arabic word is used for it, although the word vodka is used as well. Khabar. This obviously comes from Arabic khabar. In both languages it means like news or information. I imagine this word entered through Persian because in Persian it's common to use it in the singular or otherwise as the Persianized plural khabarha, whereas in Arabic it's more common to use akhbar for news in general. Nash. This means pattern, design, or ornament. Although it's an Arabic word, I'm pretty sure it comes from Persian because in Persian, naksh is like a design, a drawing, or a painting, and naqash is a painter. Whereas in Arabic, this root is more about engraving or inscribing. So these terms are less common in Arabic than in Persian and Armenian, but they're definitely of Semitic origin, so I thought I would mention it. And that's our top 10 Arabic words in Armenian. Okay, it's not really a top 10, but these are 10 words I noticed in real life, and I immediately knew they were Arabic. And trust me, I let everyone know it was Arabic because I'm just like that. But I think one of today's takeaways is that many of the words we think of as trademark Arabic, like Zeid for example, are actually not Arabic at all. Or in the case of Zaman, they're not even of Semitic origin. Anyway, let me know if you like this video by hitting like and subscribe because I do try to kind of stay on topic with the Palestinian Arabic stuff, but I really couldn't resist making this video. So if you did like it, I can definitely make more like them. So with that, I'll see you next time.